Hey everybody, Crypto Mentor 99. How you doing? I got to give John Moore a long introduction. No one works harder in the room than John Moore. He's the vice president at Nationwide Merchant Solutions. I saw him on Twitter a couple months ago. I said, dude, I got to get you on. So John and I are doing a series of videos, and this is the third video that we're doing today, and we're going to answer the question, what is a cash reserve in the credit card processing world? But I got to tell you, before John jumps in here, the first video we did, the question that John answered so eloquently was, why would a credit card company be interested in cryptos and Litecoin? The second video that John so eloquently answered the question, what are the chargebacks and disputes in the regular payment system? If you're a merchant, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But for this video, John, we're going to talk about what is a cash reserve in the credit card processing world.
Perfect. So a cash reserve is something that the public is definitely not thinking about. So if you have a small business, you set up an account with Square, or with PayPal, or with a company like mine, and you just start processing payments. There's no like upfront cost to accepting payments. First, a lot of business types they deem risky, right? People selling goods online, appliances online, jewelry online. They really hate furniture, supplements. They hate a lot of like items that are sold, where especially if it's not face to face. You can't set these accounts up for free. They have to fund the business, what's called a cash reserve. And this is basically like money they have to dump into like a escrow account, in a sense, for the privilege and right to process credit card payments.
Wow.
I've seen the cash reserve be as high as $10 million on a deal that I was going after. So, I mean, the guy said, hey, I only have a $5 million cash reserve right now. Last time I applied with First Data, which is the kind of like the processing company behind the scenes. He said, yeah, First Data wanted a $10 million cash reserve. So again, in all processors, I'm not picking on them. That's just because it was familiar to me. They all have this system in place. So sometimes you're not even told about it up front. Right? This is where it gets really tricky. You know about it up front, that eliminates a lot of the less wealthy people from being able to operate, because if you can't fund the big reserve, you can't go into business. But what was I going to say? Kind of lost my train of thought there. I was so deep in.
Well, no, you were saying you were using that's fine, real time. In fact, on my YouTube channel,
it came back to me. It came back to me.
Okay.
So where the real problem lies is for people that they're up and running for free, and they're just barely making it by paying the bills, right? And they're relying on that credit card money to come in each day. The processor at any time can establish a cash reserve. So they can just say, hey, we don't like what we're seeing. We're holding this money. And you as the business would say, well, John, I need this money to run my business. The rent's due, the electric's due, we got to ship the product out. I can't operate this way. But in every agreement in America, everybody that processes credit cards, that processor has the right to hold the money for 6 months. So I've seen this happen to people. I've seen it happen where they're going about their business and boom, it's like they are hit by a truck and they're like, hey, I didn't get my money. Next thing you know, the cash reserve starts piling up. And generally, you're going to see this. A lot of the more smaller processing companies are more aggressive with the cash reserves. How I'm set up, if we would be considered like franchises in a sense, the back-end processor that's clearing all the payments is a very large one. So they would really only want a cash reserve on a larger business. But still, it's a bigger, very big hindrance. It's very embarrassing to say, gee, you came to me for payment services. I cannot do business with you because they're deeming your account too risky unless you want to give me $250,000 to get started. And they're going to say, I can't say on your show, Crypto Mentor 99, what they tell me in that in that case. But
but on the flip side, again, you're offering real people, real merchants, real solutions. And I'll just go back a little bit to the second video we did about
Sure.
chargebacks and disputes. If you're using cryptos, well, we like Litecoin, so let's use Litecoin for an example. That's a whole different ball game. So could you kind of speak to the merchants out there, like there is light at the end of the tunnel here?
right. So with cryptos, there's no such thing as a cash reserve. You don't have to give the Bitcoin or Litecoin police money to start using their network. Once that sale's made, it's final. So for a lot of these merchants that have problems with these, again, the merchants that have a lot of chargebacks are going to be the ones that are going to usually have this cash reserve. For these types of merchants, cryptos are a way, like you said, light at the end of the tunnel, because it's, hey, while the credit card world is not on your side as the business, the crypto world is. I always say Bitcoin and Litecoin it's pro-business. It's very about small business, and it's only going to be good for the consumer because it's going to drive down the cost for the end user. Now think about these businesses as time goes on, and they don't have to fund these cash reserves. They don't have the fraud risk. They don't have the high merchant fees. Well, they're going to be selling items and goods to you for cheaper, and if they're not, another competitor is. It's just the natural order of how things are done. So I'm super excited about it. For me in payments, I just love the payment from A to B. I just want to show people, hey, this is a safe way to do it. It's easy. You don't have to think about it too much, and you can't lose money. That's my
Sure.
my main.
And we talked, or actually you talked about this in the second video, but I think it bears repeating. If I'm a merchant and you come to me with a good solution, Litecoin, and I'm like, I don't know, I could always sign up for you, and maybe not literally at the end of every day, but I can always convert that to fiat, correct?
Yeah, great point to bring out. We always want to be letting the public know that this is for everybody. You don't have to be a crypto guy like me or you to want to process crypto payments. This is for regular people. Utilize the network to its advantage. Let the money get sent to you, and then cash out every hour if you want. I mean, cash out every half hour.
Sure.
It's totally. It's like if you're in a busy restaurant and you have a cash register, you decide how much you want to clear out that cash drawer. So we always advise people that aren't into cryptos, just use the network. This is Bitcoin and Litecoin are a friend. Use the network. You don't have to worry about fraud on those transactions. And in how we're going to set it up for you, you can open up an app in your phone and hit a button that says transfer to bank, and the money will deposit into your bank account in a day or two, just like how a credit card transaction would.
Okay, so with every video, I'm ending it like this. I'm going to have all of John's contact information below. If you want a guy that's bringing value to you, if you want a guy who's an asset and not a liability when he calls you on the phone or knocks on your door, John Moore, thanks so much for explaining, because I am learning a lot this afternoon. I guarantee you.
Awesome. Thanks a lot. Thanks again for having me on.
All right, thanks, John.